Hariam girls. So we were talking about the Python programming course. In module 1, these are the different topics to be covered. Out of these topics, we had discussed the very introduction to Python programming in our previous session. We were talking about the different features of Python. So these are some of the features we had already discussed. The basic difference between the structure of Python syntax comparing to the other programming languages was also discussed. Then we very briefly talked upon the different methods to run Python programs. So here we are going to talk about the basic elements of Python. So let us just see how to execute Python program in command line interface, which we already discussed in our previous session. So if I want to execute the Python code in the command line interpreter directly in the Python interpreter, I can type Python. When you press the enter key, it will show you the Python prompt. This is the Python prompt. There you can directly type the Python commands. It gets executed. Or what you can do, you can create a Python file with .py file extension and then you can run it in the command line. This is how we will be running the Python code using the Python interpreter. You just invoke the Python interpreter this way. Then give your file name. Generally we will have the extension as .py, and I told you it need not be .py always, but just for the programmer's sake or the user's sake we are using .py. Otherwise it is going to be the plain text file. So this is how we will be executing the Python program in the command line interface. And we had also discussed how it can be executed in the Spyder environment. Spyder is one of the integrated development environments using which how we can type the Python code and how we can execute it was also discussed in our previous session. Okay. So let us first talk about the indentation that is used in Python, because this is one of the very important difference between other programming languages and the Python programming. We know that indentation is nothing but it refers to spaces, right? So whatever space you are going to use, white spaces, whatever white spaces you are going to use at the beginning of a line or a beginning of the code, programming code is what you call as indentation. In other programming languages, the indentation is used only for the readability, right? Just to, if you want to structure your program, you want to give a visual structure to your program, we will be using the indentation, right? So we know that how we can use the visual mode of VI editor so that we can align our program, all our programs. So the indentation in our other programming languages we use only for the readability, right? So I generally ask you to use the visual mode in the VI editor. So when you use the visual mode, what happens? It gives you a proper structure for your program, proper alignment for your program. So wherever you have blocks, you can give space, indentation, etc. so that it looks neat and you can see the programming structure clearly, right? So that is the purpose of having indentation in other programming languages. Whereas Python, the indentation is having a particular execution style also, right? So how the blocks are defined in a Python program is completely based on the indentation, right? So it is very important using the indentation because it makes the program code in a different execution style. So it gives some significance for the execution of the program itself. So it is very important because, or I can put it this way, the indentation is used as part of the syntax of your Python program. So for which we use the indentation. And Python uses indentation to indicate a block of code which we had already seen in our sample Python programs. Okay. Now, when I am using the indentations, say for example, if this is going to be a statement in your Python program, I can say if a greater than or equal to 5, then I give one blank space, then I give print something. Okay. So here, what happens is, when I want to open a block, you can see here I am using a colon, and then I am giving only one blank space. Then I give print something. So this one blank space is what you call as indentation. And remember, how many number of spaces you want to use for the indentation, it is up to the programmer. But it must be at least one blank space you have to use if you want to give indentation. I repeat, the number of spaces you are going to use is up to the programmer. So I may be using only one blank space as the indentation. Another programmer, say for example Anamika, may be using 3 or 4 spaces for the indentation. Maybe Hasiba using one tab space, right? One tab space as the indentation for her program. So it is up to the programmer how many number of white spaces you are going to use for the indentation, right? So if you want to open a new block, please see that you have to give proper indentation. If you are not giving proper indentation, obviously the Python will give you error message. This is one very important point you have to observe. Now the Python program can also use comments, and if you want, let us see an example of Python indentation in the Spider. So this is my Spider IDE. So this is your Spider environment. I am opening it in full screen mode. I hope all of you can view it. If you want, I can increase the size to 24. Okay, now it will be visible. See, suppose if I am going to give a statement like this, a greater than 5 colon, and let me assign a value a is equal to 100. Okay. So when assign a statement like this, I want to start the true block for a greater than 5. I want to start true block for a greater than 5. You can observe here, I am giving one tab space, or I can give even a single space. Then I can give print a is greater than 5. Okay. Then I am going to give the else block, and I say print a is not greater than 5. Okay. This is how I am going to give the indentation. I run the program. It will ask me to save the program. So let me go to Python programs. Let me call the program as test program, and I am going to save it. Okay. Now when I run the program, it shows me a is greater than 5 as the output. Of course, a value is 100, so it gives me the value a is greater than 5. Now you can observe here, for this true block, I am giving only one blank space as the indentation, whereas for the false block, I gave one tab space as the indentation. So it is up to the programmer how many number of spaces you are going to use for the indentation. Okay, so it is up to you. But suppose imagine I am going to have one more statement here. I am going to have one more statement here. I want to give print a value is 100. Okay, something like that I want to print. Now I want to have both these print statement as the codes for the true block. If so, I am giving same number of white spaces here. So I am giving only one space here. The same one space is given here in the next statement also. Only then all these two statements will be considered as part of one block. But suppose, say for example, if I run the program, when I run the program, you can see the output here. A is greater than 5 and a value is 100. Suppose, say for example, I am giving two blank spaces here. I am giving two blank spaces here. Let us see what happens. You can see code analysis is giving unexpected indentation. I hope all of you could observe this. It gives me an error message saying unexpected indentation, right? So if I am using only one blank space for initiating a block, the same number of spaces must be used for the entire block. If you are using two blank spaces here, then this should also have two blank spaces. Then it will not give you the error. See, the error disappeared. Whereas if you use two blank spaces here, but you are using three blank spaces or one tab space here extra, then automatically the code analysis will say it is having some unexpected indentation. So your indentation must be a proper indentation to initiate each and every block in your program. So this point all of you must observe here. Okay. So let us get into the So this is what is given here. If proper indentation is not given, Python will give you an error message, and the number of spaces is up to the programmer, but it must be at least one, and it must have very proper indentation for each and every block that is to be considered in the Python program, right? So this is what you have to understand about Python indentation. Next, let us see what do you mean by Python comments. We have already seen this example also in our sample code. The comments are generally used to explain the Python code. So if you want to give some kind of documentation in your program, we had already discussed documentation is very important for our program. So wherever you want to add some description kind of thing, suppose say for example you want to explain why a particular loop structure is used in the program, or you want to explain why a particular function is described or defined in your program. In those cases, you can use the comments in your Python code, and comments can be used to make the code more readable also. So wherever you want to explain the concepts or the logic or the functions or the expressions in your program, then you can use comments in those places. And comments can be used to prevent execution when testing the code. So this is what generally we do in our C++ and Java program. Sometimes when you want to try some statements, or if you feel that some statements are not working properly, what do you do generally? You comment that particular line, right? So if you want to prevent the execution of a particular code while testing the program, you can use the comment. So these are the purpose of having comments in your Python program. If you use hash symbol, this is going to be a single line commenting. We call it a single line commenting. So if you give a statement like this, it will be considered as comment. So generally it will start with symbol hash, and whichever statement is starting with symbol hash, then the Python will ignore that particular line. Then the comments can be placed at the end of a line also, and the Python will ignore the rest of the line also. So suppose say for example, if I give a statement like this, I give print hello world, then I give hash, this is a comment. So what happens? Up to this, Python will execute the code, and once it sees the hash symbol, the rest of the things will be ignored by the Python interpreter, assuming that this is a comment line. Okay. And a comment does not have to be text that explains the code. It can also be used to prevent Python from executing a code. That is what we had seen as our purpose of having the Python comment. This is the point. So this point is explained here. So if you want to avoid printing this statement in your output, you can just comment that particular statement. So this is also the purpose of having comment in your Python program. Now, apart from this, you can also have multi-line commenting. You can also have multi-line commenting. But if you see the multi-line commenting, as such, there is no command for multi-line commenting. There is no exact command available for Python multi-line commenting. So what we are going to do, if you want to add multi-line comment, you can insert hash for each line. This is possible. Suppose say these are multiple lines are here, right? This is a comment written in more than just one line. So all these examples I took from the internet W3 schools. If you come across these examples, you can see that this is already discussed in your W3 schools. You can see here, this is a comment written in more than just one line. So 3 lines I am using for commenting. Now in all these 3 lines, the starting character is hash symbol. So this I can call as a multi-line commenting. Apart from that, you can have multi-line commenting using this also, right? If you use multi-line string, please make a note of it. If you use multi-line string, that will also be considered as multi-line commenting, because the Python will ignore the string literal which is not assigned to a variable. So that is the point to be noted here. If you are going to simply type some string in your program, that string will be ignored by the Python because the string is not assigned to any variable. If so, the string literal will be ignored. So if you want to have multi-line commenting, you can have multi-line string in your program. So automatically that string will be treated as a comment line. So this is especially for the programmer's sake. But for the Python program, this will be considered as a string literal. Since it is not assigned to any variable, it will be ignored by the Python interpreter. So this is another way of having multi-line commenting. So there are 2 ways of having multi-line commenting. What are they? One, you can have for each line, you can have the hash symbol. Whereas in the second case, you can have multi-line string. Now let me go to the spider. So here let us see an example. See, I am going to type a multi-line string. I am going to have single quote. I am using single quote, 1 single quote, 2 and 3 single quotes. Then I type something here. Whatever I type, multiple lines I am typing here. Then I am closing the string. So whatever I typed here, it will be considered as a comment line. Actually, it is a string literal that you are using in your program. It is a string literal that you are using in your program. But since the string literal is not assigned to any variable, this will be considered as a comment for the programmer. Okay. Now, this is using a single quote. Using a single quote you can use, or you can have double quotes, right? 3 double quotes you can have. You can have print actually print is a statement, but since the statement is given inside the multi-line string, then it will be considered as a comment line. That is, comment line in the sense Python interpreter will be ignoring this statement. Whereas now, sorry, if I give print, it will be considered as a statement, right? And again, if I give print statement here, it will be considered as a statement, right? Whereas in between, if I am going to give a print statement here, you can observe it is not going to be considered as a statement, right? And you might have observed here the string is represented with single quote or with double quote. So you can use either a single quote or you can use a double quote for representing a string in your Python program. So that is what you have to understand about Python comments. I repeat, you can have hash symbol for commenting the Python code, and whichever statement starts with hash, the Python will ignore because it will be considered as a comment line. So wherever you want to start a comment line, you can have the hash symbol. And you can also have multi-line commenting with hash symbol for each line, or you can have multi-line string. Since multi-line string is not assigned to a variable, so this example shows a multi-line string. So here I am not assigning this string to any variable, so automatically this will be considered as a part of the code which is to be ignored. So this can be used as a commenting in your program for more readability. Okay, so that's it about Python comments. Next, let us see the most interesting part of Python, which is variables. Right, recollect the points that you have studied in your C, C++ and Java programming. The variables are nothing but they are all containers for storing data values. So whichever data you want to store in your program, you need a container for that. That container is nothing but a variable. And here in the Python, generally in other programming languages, what we do, we will be declaring the variable, right? So in C, you will say int C is equal to 100. And in C++, you will say double A is equal to 5.3. Like that, you will be declaring the variable. Only then you will assign values to these variables. But in Python program, what we are going to do, we need not declare the variables. You just assign a value to a variable. Automatically, the variable becomes that type of variable. So if you are assigning integer to a variable, then the variable becomes an integer. If you assign a string value to a variable, then the variable becomes a string variable. So a variable is created the moment you first assign a value to it. Variables do not need to be declared with any particular type, and you can even change the type after they have been set. This is the point to be noted. So let us go to our Spider to understand how it is being used. Okay, so here suppose I am going to take variable x and I am going to assign value 100. So once I have assigned value 100 from statement number 38, variable x becomes an integer variable. If I am assigning y is equal to 20.45, then from statement number 39 onwards, y will be treated as a floating point variable, right? So whenever you are going to assign a value to a variable, automatically the variable becomes that kind of variable. That is how the type of the variable will be defined in Python program. Okay. Now Suppose say for example you are having lots of statements here, 39, 40, 41, all statements are there. When you reach to 44, you want to assign some floating point value to x, 0.02. This is also possible. For y, you want to assign a string. This is also possible. So, whereas in our C++ program, suppose if you have declared y as a floating point variable, right? Imagine you have declared y as a floating point variable, then only floating point values can be assigned to variable y in the case of C, C++ and Java. Whereas in Python, at one point of the program, I assign a float value to variable y, whereas in another part of the same program, y can receive a string value also. So that is what is specified here. That is what is specified here. Variables do not need to be declared with any particular type, and it can even change the type after they have been set. I think I make it very clear with the example. So at one point of time, x can take the value of integer, whereas in another part of the program, x can take a value of string, float, etc., which is possible in Python programming. And one more very important point, it is almost in all the programming languages, variable names are case sensitive. So here also it is case sensitive. So variable names, if you consider, it can have short names like x, y, etc., or you can have some descriptive names. So this is what is preferred, mainly descriptive names. Always try to use meaningful names for your variable so that it will be easy for you to refer and understand the program. Say for example, you can have age, car name, total underscore volume. These are some of the descriptive names that you can use for the variables. Then these are some of the rules which are very much similar to other programming languages also. Variable name must start with a letter or it can start with underscore. Same as in the other programming languages. Variable name cannot start with a number. Variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Variable names are case sensitive. So this is the example I gave here. Num, num, num. So if you declare these three variables, all these three will be considered as different variables. അതിനെയാണ് case sensitive എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇവിടെ small case letter use ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഇവിടെ capital letters use ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. So obviously it will be considered as a different variable. So sometimes we want to use same term for two different variables. By the time you can just change the cases, capital letter, small letter എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒന്ന് change ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can use it with same name, but it will be treated as different variables. So this is an example here. As I told you, it need not be declared. I am not declaring any variable here. I am just assigning the value 500 to x and Devika as a string to y. Automatically x will be considered as an integer and y will be considered as a string variable. And if we want to specify the data type, you want to say like I want to have x as an integer and y as an integer to understand, right, to improve the readability of the program. What you can do, because we are used to that kind of programming, C, C++, Java നമുക്കെല്ലാം വേരിയബിളുടെ ടൈപ്പ് ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. So if you want to have that kind of conventional style of declaring the variable to a particular type, then you can go for this kind of thing also. You can simply say x string of 500, y integer of 500, z float of 500. So that x will be considered as a string, y will be considered as integer and z will be considered as float. And if you observe here, since 500 is converted to string, this will be the value of x and this will be the value of y because it is an integer, and z is a floating point variable, so this will be the value of z. This is how data type for a variable can be specified, and which you call as typecasting, right? We used to do typecasting in our other programming languages, so that typecasting can be used to specify a data type for a variable. Another example I'll show you. If you want to get the data type of your variable, if you want to get the data type of your variable, right? Suppose, say for example, you have declared the variable x in first 2-3 lines of your program. After 100 or 200 lines, you want to check what is the data type of the variable, data type of the variable. Then you can use the type of function that will tell you what is the type of variable x, what is the type of variable y, what is the type of variable z, etc. can be understood just by using type of function. Okay, and one more point that I have given you here, string variables can be declared either by using single or double quotes. So here I am using double quotes here, right? The same can also be done with single quotes also. Say yeah, see, I can have x is equal to single quotes. This will also be considered as a string. I think all of you can view this. Let me make it full screen. Okay. Or if you want to assign, you can have double quotes also to assign the value of x. You can have variable value x to be printed. So when I run the program, unexpected indentation, where is unexpected indentation? Yeah, so this is what I told you. It gives you an error in the indentation if I am giving only one space here, whereas I am giving one space and one tab space here. So obviously it gives you the error, indentation error. So you have to align it properly, right? So both of them should come in the same column, only then it will be considered. Let me clear the console. You run the program. You can see here x is taking this also as a string, and this is also considered as a string variable, right? And you can observe all these string literals, these and this string literals are ignored there, so that I can have it as a comment line. And in between, if you want to have any Python code, that can also be given here, so that will be executed by the Python interpreter. And here if you want, let us have print statement of x, print of y. I'm going to run. So here x value is printed as 100, y value is printed as 20.45, and you can observe here at line number 37 I am assigning an integer value to x. At line number 45 I am assigning a float value to variable x, and at line number 48 and 49 I am assigning a string value to this variable, so that in different same variable, so that same variable can be considered as different types in different parts of the program. This is allowed in Python programming. Okay, so these are the things that we should understand in the Python program as part of what do you mean by Python comments, what do you mean by Python indentation, and what do you mean by Python variable. So let us discuss more about Python in the next session.